Shalom to the nation of Israel. This is Barzal coming in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai Bahashem, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and to the hopeful elect pushers word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. So a very quick one titled, Get Ready for the Crash. Get ready for the crash. The crash is coming very soon. Because I forgot what video I was watching a couple months ago, but they said that, before I continue, fair use, fair use, fair use. This I do not own these clips, nor is this page monetized. I do not receive any type of monetary gain off of any of these videos. This is just for educational purposes only. Fair use, fair use, fair use. Right? So a couple months ago, there was a video that posted about the man saying that they're going to do something. When you know when the crash is about to happen, it's gonna be on a weekend, a holiday, right? Where the holiday leads onto Monday, where the Monday the banks are closed, and that's when they're gonna make their move and make a run at the banks. I remember the video. I don't remember exactly I would have to find it, but he said that's when it's gonna happen, and it's happening right now. Exactly what that guy said. Whenever he made that video, I don't remember when. It's happening right now, right? So the dollar is about to crash very soon. Very, very soon. Anyways, let me just let the video play and you can listen for yourself.
Explosive news that happened overnight that the mainstream media is not talking about, and for good reason, because they don't want to cause a run on the banks. And I'm going to tell you about it because I think everyone needs to know about this. So last night, Halloween night, in the middle of the night, the Federal Reserve injected billions of dollars into the banking system. They conducted the biggest repo operation since 2020 COVID, injecting $29.4 billion into the banking system. Repos are short-term loans where the banks trade treasuries for cash to boost liquidity, meaning the banks are having a cash liquidity problem, which means loans are going to tighten up significantly. U.S. bank reserves have crashed to $2.8 trillion. That's a 4-year low. Guys, major alarm bells are going off. They did this very quietly. It wasn't really announced. No one talked about it. Like, this is major. They did it Friday night, so there's not a rush on the banks today because many of them are closed. So, guys, they are trying to safeguard
exactly,
the system.
and that's Slakia. That's what the guy said. Exactly what they're gonna do. They're gonna do it on a Friday, and during the time of a holiday. So the Monday, so this is gonna be planned on the weekend where the Monday the banks are closed because of a holiday. He said exactly what's happening right now. Exactly what is happening right now. That he said, this guy, whoever it was, I don't remember. He said exactly that, and that's what's happening right now.
But they are showing that it is under significant stress, and it is going to be compounded and get even worse today and into this week because there is now billions of dollars that is not going to be flowing into businesses, into the banking system because of the SNAP benefits expiring. So without that money coming into the system, that's just a huge chunk that's not going in through the banks. And then you have the government shutdown causing contractors to not be getting paid. That money's not flowing through. Then you've got the air traffic controllers not working and that money not flowing in, and all these other government employees not having money come in flowing through the banking system. So it's massive losses. The shutdown has to...
Right, and that, if you can see what's going on, it's like if you wanted to attack a kingdom or a system, you don't hit it from one area, you hit it from multiple areas at once, right? Which causes stress from different areas. So eventually the whole thing collapses, right? It's like death from a thousand cuts. So that's what's going on. That's what's going on. If you can't see it, that's what's going on.
And what this also shows is that people have already been going to the banks to pull out their cash, to get their cash out. So the banks are low on cash. There's probably people even going there trying to pull money and being told no, they don't have it. I'm sure that that is happening. And if it's not yet, it might start happening here very soon. I'm not trying to be an alarmist here, but this is actually happening. This move by the Fed shows there's major problems ahead. This could be the big correction coming. It could hit this week. Could this looming crisis be the reason senior cabinet officials have moved on to military housing now? Let me know your thoughts on this. Leave a comment, like, share, spread the word. Make sure everyone knows about this. This is serious. It affects everyone. Follow, subscribe, and I'll see you back here for the 411. Massive.
Right? So there you go. So I mean, hey, brothers that are in, in America, I mean, it would be wise to go and go check on your money, go pull your money out. It would be wise to do that. Right? Just keep money that you have in there just for bills. Pull the rest out. because I mean, remember, you can't ignore the signs, right? So I'm just gonna read. So it says 1 Timothy 6 and I'll read in KJV and NLT. KJV, charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded, nor trust in uncertain riches, but in the living power Yahweh Wayahushai, who giveth us richly all things to enjoy. Right? And uncertain riches is this money system, right? Whether it's crypto, whether it's stocks, whether it's just putting your money in the bank, right? Uh, yeah, and other forms of so-called money, right? Don't trust in it because it's based off of fiat currency, which is you just believe that it's real. That's pretty much what it means, fiat, right? And then NLT, it says, teach those who are rich in this world not to be proud and not to trust in their money, which is so unreliable. Exactly. Because the money of the world is unreliable because it's not real money. Real money is gold and silver. That's real money. You can trust in that. But even that still won't save you. You get what I'm saying? Like, that is real money, and that you can always trust in the sense that it's not going to change in value, right? But that money, gold and silver, it's not going to save you, right? It might aid you, but it's not going to save you because to be saved, you got to go in the chariots, right? So that gold and silver is not like going to buy your ticket into the chariots, right? But it would be wise to have it though. If you're in a position to have it, I would suggest to go get it because Apostle Tar has been talking about for years about real money is gold and silver. If I were you, I'd just get gold and silver because it's going to go up. It's been going up. He's been saying that over the years, and it's exactly what's been happening. Because that's real money. It says their trust should be in Yahweh wa Yahushai, exactly, who richly gives us all we need for our enjoyment. Exactly. So, like I said, I remember there was a video I watched a couple months, and that guy explained exactly to the T what that guy just said, what was going to happen, how they're going to do it, when they're going to do it, in what way they're going to do it. So the fact that it's happening now, and you can see what's going on also in conjunction with with that, like he mentioned the government shutdowns, the SNAP benefits being cut off. He'd even mentioned about the Gulf Coast and the East Coast, or the Gulf Coast and the West Coast being shut off, right? They're on strike, so you have that too. So stuff's not coming in, right? Then you got the tariffs, right? So you have all these things going on. So the whole system of America, right? The whole system of America is under stress, is being attacked, right? So eventually it's going to collapse, and it's going to be anarchy. So then you got famine of the word, then that's not happening. So you got to see what's going on. You got to see what's coming down the pipe. So you got to prepare ahead of time. You got to see this. Okay, I got to go make my preparations now before this hits. You can't be afraid and you're like, oh, well, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to sit here and do nothing. No, the Most High is telling you this information is for you to use it. Now, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of thy times, and the fear of the Lord is treasure, right? So the wisdom and knowledge is going to make you stable. So this is wisdom telling you that you should go and make your preparation, because if that's what's happening right now, there's going to be a collapse. It's going to happen very soon. It could happen this week, right? Things might start popping off because remember, the SNAP it's done. It's cut off. So people are going to start to lose it. They're going to start robbing people in grocery stores. At first, they might try to rob the grocery stores, but then the grocery stores are going to get the cops because remember, they're owned by the companies and the banking families and etc. So they're going to protect their goods. So they're like, you can't steal our shit. You try to do that, you're going to get shot. So they're like, okay. So they're going to wait in the parking lot and they're going to rob people that go in the grocery stores that have money, right? And they're going to rob them their groceries. And now it's going to create more anarchy. So anyways, 1 Corinthians 2 and, not 1 Corinthians 2, 2 Corinthians 2 and 11, NLT, so that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. Exactly. So I'm just talking about his evil schemes, right? Or his evil plots, right? Or what he's conspiring to do. So his conspiracy, right? You got to be a critical thinker. You got to think for yourself. So you got to be a conspiracy theorist, and if you understand what the word conspiracy theorist means, it's not a negative word, right? It's just, you got the word con from the Latin, which means with, right, or all, and then spire means to breathe, and then theory means plan, plot, scheme, right? So you put it together, and it means we are all coming together to breathe or talk on a scheme or a plan. That's all it means, right? When you're talking about with your friends, oh hey, we're gonna go to the movies, at this time, or no, let's go to the movie. That's you guys are conspiring on a theory. That's what it means. That's what you're exactly what you're doing. People are just fucking stupid. They touch emotions they attach the wrong emotions to the words because they were taught to attach those emotions to the words based off of movies, television shows, media, radio, news, school, whatever, right? So let's go to Revelation 6 and 6. I read in NLT. It says, "And I heard a voice from among the four living beings saying, a loaf of wheat bread, or 3 loaves of barley will cost a day's pay, and don't waste the olive and oil." And olive oil is referring to the truth, right? Like the scriptures say, don't give pearls unto swine, you know. But also you can say in the physical sense, don't waste the olive and oil, because olive and oil is a very valuable resource. Olive oil is very valuable, right? Don't waste it. So it's double. It's a double meaning, right? And wine's a very valuable resource too. Don't waste it, right? Because when you're going through those times, you're going to need substance. Wine's going to help you get through it because, you're going through stress. Wine's going to make you, feel good, right? Cheer up the mood. And olive oil is very powerful, high antioxidant superfood. So there's that too. So it's double meaning. It means in the carnal sense when it comes to like substance, and also in the spiritual sense when it comes to the truth, And then when it says there, it says a day's pay will cost barley. That's hyperinflation. So you can work for a full day, right, of work, and you can only buy a loaf of, what did it say? It says you can only buy 3 loaves of barley from working a whole day. So that's hyperinflation. And why is that hyperinflation going to happen? Well, I just showed you the video, right? The financial system. You got the financial system, and then you got the SNAP benefits in that too, right? For people. So then all this stuff, all this stress that they're creating, right? Pressure from above, pressure from below, right? Then the anarchies that's going to happen, then the wars that are going to happen, right? When they bring the MOTB, which is the RFID HIP, right? Or the NFC, people are going to sprint to take it because of how fucked up it's going to be for everybody. It's going to be complete chaos. So they're going to sprint to take the MOTB. They're not going to have to convince them like everyone thinks they're going to have to convince them. They're going to sprint to take it because it's going to be all fucked up. Everything's going to be fucked up. You're still going to have people that are not going to take it because they know what it is, right? Then they're going to try to get the rest. They're going to use celebrities, et cetera, but things are going to get fucked up, right? So the last one, just to show you a representation of what happens when hyperinflation hits. 2 Kings 6 and I'll read in NLT. It says, as a result, actually, you know what? Actually, I should read the top. So the top, it says, of this section, it says, the siege of Samaria cannibalism, or it says, Ben-Hadad besieges Samaria. So NLT, it says, some time later, however, King Ben-Hadad of Aram mustered his entire army and besieged Samaria. Right? And Samaria, if you don't know what Samaria is, Samaria is where the northern kingdom was living, right? The southern kingdom was in Jerusalem, right? And the northern kingdom was in Samaria, or Judah, right? Or Judah was in, Judah. The southern kingdom was in Jerusalem, like the main city, the holy city, and then the northern kingdom was in Samaria, right? That's why Yahushua said what he said later on in the New Testament about Samaria. Don't go to the Samaritans, right? Because they claim to be Israelites. Do you know why? Because Israelites were there first. That's we founded Samaria, right? So they're trying to claim that they're Israelites. That's the reason why he said that. That's part of the reason why. Anyways, verse 25, it says, as a result, there was a great famine in the city, right? The siege, so they're being besieged by an enemy. An enemy army is besieging the country, right? So they got surrounded. And since they got surrounded, they're under stress. That's the same thing that's gonna happen. That's happening to America right now. They're being besieged, right, by the elites, and they don't even know it. That's why things are getting cut off, like the West Coast and Gulf Coast. I think it's West Coast or East Coast, but with combined with the Gulf Coast, I have to know my maps, right? The ports are getting are on strike, right? So you don't have things coming in the ports, and you got the tariffs, right? Then you got the financial system, right? Then you got the government system. Then you got the people that are poor, their benefits getting cut off. So all this stress is being hit. Then you got the left wing versus the right wing. That stress going on, right? Then you got the race stress. You got so-called blacks versus so-called whites. Really, it's so-called whites versus so-called Israelites. We're not slacking, not so-called Israelites. You got so-called whites versus Israelites, right? The Latin tribes, and the Negroes, so-called Negroes, Caribbeans, Gad, Reuben, etc. Right? So America's being besieged, and they don't even know it. Right? You're getting hit from all these different angles, and that's what happens. You get besieged, you get surrounded, and then you get stressed. So it says, as a result, there was a great famine in the city. The siege lasted so long that a donkey's head. So it didn't happen overnight. It happened over a period of time. So they starved them out, which they stressed them out. They stressed them out by cutting off their food and their water, etc., and their ways to escape. So right now, airports, I think flights are getting canceled a lot of airports because they're not paying the people working at the airports. So I don't know how that works. I don't know if people can still fly. Like, I have no idea how that's working. I have no idea, right? I don't know the details of that specifically, but I do know the airports are being shut down because that's a government job, right? So I guess I'm assuming that a lot of people are kind of stuck in America, per se. Majority of people, right? And it's going to get worse because, I mean, if the government shutdowns continue, all the airports are going to get shut down. It's not going to just be in certain cities. I mean, all of them, right? Unless you have private airports, and then like, those will be open, but then those will get stressed out with the influx of people going there if they can't even afford the tickets. Like, I don't even know how that works. So then you see how it's creating more problems. So it's like a human body where the organs started shutting down, right? And other organs have to take up the stress of trying to do the job, or like the liver's shutting down. So then other organs have to try to work harder to keep the liver alive and do the extra work that the liver's not doing, right? And eventually it shuts down. It creates it's a domino effect. Eventually the whole body shuts down if the problem's not fixed. But in this case, the problem's not going to be fixed. People are saying, "Oh, you got to stop the shutdowns. You got to go back to the way." It's not going to happen. This body called America, that whore, all the STDs, all the HIVs, all the diseases she's carried along her way, right, have finally riddled her body, and she's dying. And this time she's not going to be brought back. She's not going to be resuscitated and brought back to life. She's going to die, and she's going to be gone for good. But what the elites want to do is, like, they're going to kill her and then bring up a new thing, right? This beast system from the ashes, like a phoenix, right? But it's not going to last long. It's like putting someone on a ventilator, right? They're breathing, but they're not alive. They're dead. They're already dead. The spirit already left. So the body's still alive, but the spirit already left. And that's going to be people when they're on the MOTB, NFC, the MOTB, which is the NFC and RFID CHIP, right? They're going to be zombies. They're going to be, anyways, because this is all coming back to the mark of the beast. That's why we keep talking about it, because that's what this is all just going to herd everyone, right? Through gradualism to take the MOTB. That's all this is for. So it says, last verse, as a result, there was a great famine in the city. The siege lasted so long that a donkey's head sold for 80 pieces. 80 pieces of silver is a lot of money. That's a lot of money. 80 pieces of silver? That's a lot of fucking money. For a donkey's head? That's, you know, that's hyperinflation. That's hyperinflation. So I read it in Revelation, right? And a cup of dove's shit or dung sold for 5 pieces of silver. So people were eating dove shit, right? You're eating shit from a bird and you're selling it and people were eating it. That's how bad it was. Because dying from famine is worse than just dying. Because dying from famine is slow. It's slow. Mercy is the most that just kills you. That's mercy. If he doesn't kill you and let you die from famine, oh, bro, you pissed him off. You pissed him off big time. You really pissed him off. Anyways, that's it on that. I'd like to close up by saying, Kahala Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai Bahashim Recha Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles of the great millstone and to the hopeful elect, which is word and truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. Abad Babal, Kwame Asher Allah, Ashawam. And hey, like I said, if you have money in those banks, I mean, it'd be wise to remove it. It'd be wise. Shalom.